Yo, 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 what it do, boys? 12 missed calls from the streets is a legendary chat, Tyler Betts, I gotta say. 12 missed calls from the streets, legendary chat. Hold up, we got an echo. Let me fix that. Okay, there we go. Echo should be fixed. Let me post to the story real quick. Let me just post to the story real quick before we get started. But yeah, shout out to all the boys in the streets right now tuning in. A little late night stream on the Friday night. Probably not the worst thing in the world. Shout out to you if you're just tuning in after a night out. All right, shout out to you. Perfect timing if that's the case. But let me just post the link to the story real quick. Let's talk about some of the things going on today. And just to address Tony M right away, you know, stream title is fake news. Charles never gets mogged. I mean, shit. Charles got mogged big time by my boy Blessed Holloway, all right? By my boy. Shout out to J Flow. Thank you for the $2 dono, homie. Castro the GOAT. Miss you, G. My man. Thanks for always tuning in, homie. Miss you too, homie. Shout out to the real high school homie, Jacob Flores. Okay, 1 second. Who's the fighter that pulled out of the White House car? We're going to look at it. People are suspecting it's Jon Jones. I mean, your guess is as good as mine, right? Nah, but not only did Max mog Charles in that final face-off, but even at the official weigh-ins, homie was locked in. I mean, I've never seen Max this locked in my life. Homie was the definition of locked in. That's how I'm coming all 2026. All right, I'm coming like Max Holloway at the official weigh-ins this morning, all 2026. All right. All right, here we are. We're back locked in. Just had to post to the story real quick. So I mean, what's been going on today? What's been going on? Let me read some chats and then we can get into some of the hot topics of the day. You boys know I like to give you a little bit of a show. You know I like to kind of narrate things, get right into it, start going down the rundown of the topics of the day. But today, you know, we'll have it be a bit more casual. There's no real hard-hitting news, that's why. So I think it's a perfect time to make it a bit of a Q&A chat casual stream. You feel me? Obviously, we're going to talk about Max Holloway absolutely mogging Charles at the final face-off at the ceremonial weigh-ins. Okay, if you don't think he mogged Charles, shit, watch again. Watch again, because my man went nose to nose with Charles. Okay, don't you ever walk up on us like that. Don't you ever walk up on us like that, ever in your life. Because we finna go nose to nose. Okay, you must not know who you're dealing with in Max Blessed Holloway. Don't you ever walk up on us like that in your life. Okay, in your life, don't ever walk up on us like that. Okay, because we going nose to nose. You think we're taking a step back? We not taking a step back. Okay, my boy Max absolutely mogged Charles. Nose to fucking nose. I mean, if you can't tell how hyped I am for this, I could barely fucking speak. Okay, let me calm myself down a little bit. Blessed Mog. Okay, shout out to Flores. Okay, we know a mogging when we see one. We know a mogging when we see one. Now, I do have some breakdown of the fight, but let me get through some of the chats first, and then I'll probably do my breakdown before I forget my points. So let me read some chats. Let me show some loves to the streets. Shout out to Perfecto. First one in this bitch. I think that should be a thing. We should always shout out the first person in here. So shout out Perfecto. First person in this bitch. I already shouted out Tyler Betts for his legendary chat. 12 missed calls from the streets. I mean, legendary. Dundaughter, big up. Big up, homie. Thanks for tuning in, Dundaughter. Tony M, we already acknowledged him. Shout out to Flo again for the $2 dono. Much appreciated, homie. Just to speak about the fights a little bit, I know that this week has been a little bit lackluster as far as the promo goes, but honestly, when it comes to Max Holloway, when it comes to Charles Oliveira, there's not much that needs to be said. These guys lay it on the line every time, right? They put their balls on the table every time. And all I needed to see was a little hyped up Max Holloway in his official weigh-ins. All I needed to see was them go nose to nose at the ceremonials, and I'm locked in. I don't need no trash talk, okay? What's understood doesn't have to be explained, and I understand these boys. Warriors of the highest degree. They don't make warriors like Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway. They just don't anymore. They just don't anymore. And Flores saying, this is the most hype I've been in a minute. For real, what was the last fight you were this hyped for? Couldn't even chill at work today. Nah, I'm hyped for this one. I'm hyped for this one. The time has come for the hype, and I'm officially hyped. I wasn't like as hyped all week just because there wasn't much going on, you know? But once I saw what type of time Max is on, once I saw the type of time Charles is on, no friendly shit, all respect, but no friendly shit. I mean, I love it. This is the shit I love right here. This is the shit I love right here. These boys do a great job of towing the line between being the ultimate warrior and having the utmost respect for their opponent. And it's like this very fine line that they toe. I'm talking, they never do that cringe shit where it's like, you know, the over-embracing of one another. Nah. They're both big dogs. They're not going to suck off either one, right? And, I mean, they respect each other, but they're not going to let the other one get one over on them over their dead body. And shit, we might get a dead body come tomorrow night. We might get a dead body, okay? We pray to God that that doesn't happen. But, you know, figure of speech. We might just get ourselves a dead body come tomorrow night. Jones versus Pereira in White House. Well, we're going to look at that, Ray. We're going to look at that. Did John Jones get, did John Jones pull out of the White House? There's a little video of them speculating that Mick Maynard shouted out, "No, John Jones," when Hunter Campbell whispered the news to him. So we'll look at that. But that is one of the bigger stories. You know, Dana White at Power Slap or something, announcing that one fight fell off of UFC White House. Everybody, you know, breaking news. I've never seen so much crazy reporting in my life. Like, one fight falls off UFC White House, we don't even know the bout, and we're just, like, reporting it like crazy. Like, my feed was stuffed full of Dana White announces one fight fell off UFC White House. It's fucking March, bro. It's March. The card's not happening till June. We got 3 more months, and everyone's losing their gosh dang shit because the card's going to be announced on Monday. The amount of over-reporting on the UFC White House, I told you guys, I'm UFC White Housed out. But I'll take the bait this time around. You feel me? We'll talk about it. Oh boy, a fight fell through with more than 3 months to go. What will we do now? What will we do now? With that being said, the boys were pretty pissed. When I say the boys, I mean the matchmakers and Hunter Campbell. The boys were pretty pissed. Let me read some more chats, though. Let me show the streets some love. Tyler Betts says, shit, the UFC streams tonight keeping me from going to the club. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Tyler Betts. I'm glad to help. I'm sure I'll save you a few bucks on this stream. Your wallet will appreciate it. JP Money says he's at the club. Shit, I'm being watched while at the club. Legendary. Absolutely legendary, JP Money, if true. You got me on at the club. I couldn't be more flattered. I couldn't be more flattered if that's the case. Bro, Flores is like a Seattle resident. Somehow he knows the bars around Tyler Betts' neck of the woods. Muckshot or something like that. Somebody, C. Doyle says he got Charles as a slight favorite. We rock with Max Holloway, and I'm going to give you my breakdown. Mike Co, what's poppin', homie? My girl would be pissed having to pick me up again, though. Shout out to Tyler Betts. He knows when he needs to take a break from the bar for his girl's sake. Let's see what else we got in here. Bob Sapp pulled out not John Jones. Perfecto, yo, what's poppin', homie? Selena saying Dana White guys, O'Malley versus Yan main event, co-main, Harrison versus Nunes. Featured bout Colby Covington versus Michael Morales, and to start the main card, Kamaru Usman versus Bilal Muhammad. 7 championship fights there. Oh my goodness gracious, Selena. What a prediction. Yo, my name Deshaun says, be honest, do you think Kyle is a great grappler? It feels like people are underrating him, but isn't his grappling better than his striking, or is he just well-rounded? I would say his striking is better than his grappling, Deshaun. Deshaun, in comparison, and it's all about in comparison, right? To some degree, it's about in comparison. Who cares how good his grappling is? The real question is his grappling better than RDR? I think we can agree with that, right, Deshaun? The real question is his grappling better than RDR's? In my opinion, no. And so let's get into the breakdown because it seems like a lot of you boys want to hear my thoughts. So let's you're missing a sick Ryzen card right now, bro. Shout out to Law Reigns. Homie was in here for the last Ryzen card. Yeah, I'm aware, homie. I'm aware. Did it just start or what? I thought we had some time. We'll probably hold off on the Ryzen card for now, but maybe we'll tune in. We're going to kind of talk about the main stories, and then once these storylines kind of fade out, maybe we'll tap into the Ryzen card. But yeah, Patchy Mix is the main event there, so we do have some time. But shout out to Law Reigns, the homie, the Ryzen homie. 4 fights in. Got you. Got you. Thank you for the update. Honestly, I might tap in midstream. You never know. Bangers. For sure. I'm getting a little bit of FOMO as we speak. So let me stop delaying. Let me get into some of the, the topics and my takes for the day for you boys. All right. So maybe we can catch the Ryzen card. So, there's 3 mega takes of the day. And if I am speeding through it, if it comes off like I'm speeding through it, right, it might be because I am, so we can catch the Ryzen card. All right. But it's not because I'm rushing these storylines. But now that I know Ryzen's on the back burner, I feel like I got a rush behind me. So anyway, let's get into it. Okay. Let's start with the co-main. I'm going to break down the co-main and the main. That's going to be my breakdowns, the co-main and the main. If you guys want to ask more questions, you feel free to. But, I'm going to break down the co-main and the main. All right. But, I guess we can go to X. So if we're going to break down the co-main first. Oh, they didn't even post the co-main. Fuck it. This is going to be up. This is just what's going to be up. I don't care. Okay. We're speaking about the co-main first, though. Let's speak about the co-main. RDR versus Kyle Baralio. How do I see this fight playing out? Shit, maybe I could even do Tapology predictions, but I don't know if I have enough energy to do the whole card. How do I see RDR versus Kyle playing out? This is what I think is going to happen. RDR, he needs to get the fight on the ground. He's the better grappler. Caio Borralho, he's definitely the better striker. He needs to keep the fight on the feet. Now, there will be some middle ground where RDR is gonna be able to find success on the feet if he can clinch with Caio. I believe that RDR has the better Thai clinch in a way. You know, call it that Dutch kickboxing with those knees. I think that in the clinch, that might be some trouble for Caio Borralho. So Caio needs to stay out of the clinch, because I also think the clinch for RDR could be a way to exhaust Caio. You know, there's also judo throws. So it takes a lot of energy, you know, to avoid some of these trips that might be coming his way if he finds himself in a clinch. Not to mention the knees up the middle to the body and the head. So the clinch is going to be something to look out for. That's going to be that gray area that's going to favor RDR. But, you know, Caio is more well-rounded than RDR, so I expect Caio to be more even on the ground with RDR, but I expect him to be losing a majority of the exchanges. He might win a few of the exchanges. We shall see. You know, RDR got a really lazy style to him, so, you know, urgency might play a factor in here as well, now that I'm speaking about it. You know, on the ground, I know RDR might be better, but he got a lazy style. Urgency might have something to do with this. You know, who's going to be more urgent to getting the dominant position? If Caio's more urgent, I could see him getting the upper hand on the ground too. Now, I think there's a bigger skill difference on the feet, you know, at range, especially. So that's something Caio's going to be looking to exploit. You know, RDR, he restored. You know, he had proper time off this time. He coming in good shape. So I think he's bringing his heart on the table. You know, his heart and his skills on the table. Maybe in another previous fight that he just lost, I forget who the fuck was it? Whitaker, some shit. I don't know who the fuck it was. Okay, whoever he lost to. All right, maybe he brought the skills, but he didn't bring the heart, right? And I'm saying in this one for RDR, he bringing it all to the table. So shout out to RDR, shout out to Caio. I think that's how the fight's gonna play out. You know, even on the feet, or no. Disadvantage on the feet for RDR. Even on the ground, look out for the clinching. Moving on to the main event. Here's my opinion about the main event. Here's my breakdown. Max wanted to give Charles a smooch, and Charles was going to let it happen. Charles was sitting there ready to take it. That's actually funny as hell. Okay, so here's what I think about the main event. I've elaborated on this a little bit, speaking on how, you know, Charles cannot really fight backing up. He can only fight going forward. This is, you know, something that Ilia Topuria exposed in Charles. And I believe it. You know, Ilia Topuria, one of the greatest minds in the sport right now. So the fact that Charles can't fight moving backwards, Max probably going to look to press him. Max probably going to look to press him, put him on that back foot, because he knows he can't fight backwards either. I think some of the best IQs in the sport for these respective weight classes, 145, 155, Max and Ilia are the cream of the crop. If we're talking IQ, call me crazy, okay? But I believe, you know, Max Holloway sees the same thing Ilia sees. Charles can't fight going backwards. He's going to be looking to put him on that back foot. But here's another catch to it. Max has the best of both worlds, because Max can fight fighting backwards. Look at how he fought Korean Zombie, right? Pulled him into punches, knocked him out going backwards, right? Korean Zombie moving forward with reckless abandon. Max Holloway knocking his ass out moving backwards. So Max Holloway has the ability, you know, moving forwards, even better for him because Charles can't fight going backwards. Charles wants to play into his wheelhouse, right? Pressing Max Holloway. Max can also fight going backwards. You got to be careful on both ways with Max. Here's another thing I got to point out. You know, this might be MMA math, but whatever you want to call it, I'm just going to bring this to the table here. Max Holloway goes 15 fucking rounds with Alex Volkanovski. 15 fucking rounds with Alex Volkanovski. Arguably won the rematch. And we just think that somehow Charles Oliveira is going to do something to Max. Now, to contradict myself, I'm just giving you guys all the points to make up your own minds. But to contradict myself, you know, Max Chin, a bit more suspect these days, right? Dustin Poirier dropped him. Justin Poirier dropped Max in his last fight, right? And then Justin Gaethje dropped Max in the BMF title fight as well. You know, Max got knocked out by Ilia Topuria. So 3 times in his last 3 fights, he's gone down. He's been caught. Who hits the hardest at 155? Charles Oliveira, confirmed, validated by Justin Gaethje himself. So these are the X factors we have at play here. Obviously, we're up at 155, but at this point in time, it's still even. You know, these guys are still even. Look at them. They're eye to eye, nose to nose. We're talking about a half-inch fucking height difference here. Max's nose is only about a half-inch below Charles's. His eye line's like a 1/4 inch below Charles's. Who knows if they got shoes on or not, but the fact that this is up a weight class, it's not like it only benefits Charles, it benefits them both. I could admit to you that Charles might have been more weight drained back in the day. JP says, I got Jerome Holloway winning. Shit, we rocking with Jerome. We rocking with Jerome Max Holloway. Shout out to Jim Lotus. Good to see you in the chat, homie. Jim fucking Lotus himself. That is the Jim Lotus. Tom, don't you ever disrespect Jim Lotus like that ever again. Only I might be allowed to disrespect Jim Lotus like that, all right? And maybe Tyler Betts as well, okay? But Tom, you definitely don't come in here disrespecting Jim Lotus like that. And I'm trolling. I know you're not disrespecting him. But we having fun here. We having fun here. Here comes the flat earth debate. And I'm all for it. So, you know, that's my take on the main event. That would be my take on the main event. You know, yes, they're moving up a weight class. Charles, you know, what's the biggest threat for Charles when it comes to attacking Max Holloway? It's going to be the knees. It's going to be clinching up and the knees. Same way he put away Dustin Poirier in a sense, right? Running the knees on Dustin Poirier. So we'll see what happens, but Max has the ability to go forward and backward. Very intriguing fight. Very intriguing fight. Very intriguing fight. Let's do the poll. Let's do the poll. Jim Lotus, Jew wants to know if you watch MMA. That's actually a valid question. Shit, I haven't even seen my hair, boys. That shit. I'm looking crusty. I need another haircut again. We're going to put the hood on. Shit, I didn't know I was looking this crusty, boys. Come on now. Someone tell me if I'm looking crusty. That's okay. You guys aren't here for my looks anyway. That's for me to worry about. But yeah, I got to admit, I was looking crusty on the camera for a second. Didn't even look at myself in the camera. Okay, Jim Lotus says, yes, I watch MMA. I know MMA too. I'm a fighter too. Damn. Honestly, I wouldn't fuck with Jim Lotus on my best day. On my best day, I wouldn't fuck with Jim Lotus. But Flat Earth is the real fight. Absolute bloodbath, says Law Reigns. It's hard to pick between both OGs. Pick a side, Tom. Pick a side. Nothing I love more than making you boys pick a side. All right, pick a motherfucking side. I'm on Max Holloway's side. Jim Lotus, who we rocking with this weekend? There's only one answer, Jim Lotus. Who we rocking with this weekend? Do another poll on who mogged who. Great. That's a great poll. I'll do that next, Tony. I'll do that next. Jim Lotus trains UFC. Definitely trains UFC. Jim Lotus definitely trains UFC. The Blessed Express max and over 3.5. What's up, Jacob and crew? What's poppin', AD? We just vibing tonight, homie. Good to see you, homie. We just vibing tonight. It's a tie, motherfucker, Jim Lotus. It's a tie. It ain't no tie, homie. Pick a side. Pick a side. Shit, I'm yelling, but it's a Friday night here, so I can say whatever the hell I want. We rocking with Max. We rocking with Max. It's a 50-50 vote, though. The streets coming out for Max. Shout out. Shout out to the streets. We rocking with Max come tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm hopping aboard the Blessed Express. Choo choo. Choo choo, the Blessed Express. You know, the blessed ever. All right. Max Holloway. Blessed man forever. The blessed ever. The blessed era. The Blessed Express. All aboard. Choo choo. Max Holloway, baby. We rock with Max, the king of Hawaii. We rock with Max. Jim Lotus says they are so equal in talent, it's too hard to say. The Blessed Express. Should we rock with the Blessed Express, Jim Lotus? Come on now. Come on now. And I know the champion has a name. Okay? But we rocking all aboard. All aboard the Blessed Express. I know the champion has a name, but all aboard the Blessed Express, baby. Let's go. Let's get it. Do Bronx. Who is it? The champion has a name, and his name is Charles Oliveira. You know, the champion does have a name. Legendary quote. Let's go, Max. Shout out to Cupcake. We got the streets filing in for Max Holloway. Let's go. Deshaun says, when you ask fighters who will win, Max or Charles, it's so shady for all the Americans to say Max. I feel you. But what do you expect, brother? Max for the center ring point, legendary shit. 80 says, Jacob, you see the streamers continue to collab with MMA fighters or boxers. I do. They get it. You know, they know that they go way more viral. I think that the reason why the streamers continue to collab with MMA fighters and boxers is because the pages like myself, you know, like me, the Home of Fight, you know, all these little, the Clipper pages of MMA. You know, MMA has one of the strongest clipping communities I think that exists in all the niche, you know, all the niches you can go into. I really believe that, you know, MMA and boxing too, they got the best clipping community. And so it's free promo. I think that's why a lot of the streamers, you know, they do the boxers, they do the MMA fighters because they see how much it gets clipped off. And they're like, damn, you know, we didn't have to pay for any of this. We'd be going viral. Like, think about Aiden Ross, you know, he has on Arman Tsarukyan. The whole MMA community is reacting to it. Like, the entire MMA community reacts to it. Do that in hip hop, you know, let Aiden Ross have Lil Baby on his stream and see if the whole MMA community is, or the whole hip hop community is clipping it off, reacting to it on their YouTube channels, posting it on X and Twitter. They're not. You know, Aiden Ross is paying for a lot of that publicity, for a lot of those clips. But MMA, I mean, they got one of the strongest clipping communities like out there right now. Jew, where do you stand, homie? It's okay. You could stand either way. But it looks like Jew not going against my man Charles Oliveira. That's right, Flores. The champ has a name and it's Blessed Holloway. Shit, that is the champ right now. The champ is Blessed Holloway, baby. The champ is Blessed Holloway. All right, let's go. Jim Lotus says he's boarding the Blessed Express. My man. All aboard. All aboard, Jim Lotus. Do you agree with Max when he said he made the BMF belt important? It's a weird, I think that got twisted up. I think that got twisted up a little bit. I think all Max is saying is that, not that he made it important, but he made it a thing. I think that's what he's kind of saying. Like, people didn't really call out for the BMF title all that often. You know, Max did kind of make it a thing. He kind of made it a bit more cool. He made it something that the fighters want to kind of, you know, call him out to fight for. I don't know. Maybe it was always cool. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. That could easily be something where just because it's now Max who's the champion, he sees things a bit differently. So I don't know, you know. Damn, Jim Lotus changing his pick. He says, I say Charles wins. Good thing is we'll find out Saturday night. Oh, we will. You saw the rematch happening between Arman and him again? Yeah, Giorgio. Yeah, Arman and Giorgio running the rematch in RAF 07. Mark your calendars, boys. I think that's March 25th. I think that's this month. JP saying, honestly, both got knocked out cold by Ilya, so I don't know who catches who. Well, this is what I was also going to say. You know, I think Max Holloway evolved more off the Ilya Topuria knockout. I honestly do. I think Max Holloway now carries longer combos in his fights. I think Max carries longer combos in his fights, and I'm probably guessing that he improved his fighting style going backwards even more. Because how did he get knocked out by Ilya? He was moving backwards. So best believe he fixed that. He evolved off of that, and he definitely added the longer combos to his game. What do I mean? 4 to 5 punch combos. You know, Max always had long combos, but more so now. I think that even though both of them got knocked out by Ilya, Max is more like, you know, Max still in the game, bro. Max still in the motherfucking game, bro. Juice says, I'm just too invested in both their stories, bro. This like when both your homies got to catch the fade and you can't pick sides. Nah, I feel you. I feel you. I feel you, Jew. You just got to be there, Jew. You just got to be there. Now, for me, I have had my homies try to fade before, and I let that shit happen. You know, I'm one of those guys, I let it happen, but I'm not gonna root either way. I'm not gonna cheer anyone on, like Jew's saying. You know. But are you one who are you guys? If your boys are gonna fade, right? Are you a homie that's gonna split it up before they fade, or are you gonna let them run that fade? Because, you know, I always got pissed when my homies would separate the fade that was about to happen. It's like, no. They need to run it. They absolutely need to run it. That's just like a tangent. Brought me back to the old days with the homies when I was younger. But I was definitely one of the guys who would let the homies scrap. You feel me? Some people don't like to let the homies scrap. I think it's important to have a pecking order. Oh yeah, that's a good Drew says you watch both these guys' stories and it's hard to want either of them to fall. LOL. Yeah, they come from very humble beginnings. They definitely do. I get it. Flores spitting facts. He goes, Max got KO'd at 45. Max different at this weight, at his age, and was winning that fight till Ilya got him. If you know, you know, bro. If you know, you know. People think just because Ilya knocked out Max, that Max wasn't even in that fight at all. Cap. Jim asking, who said the champion has a name? Charles said that. When Charles was champion, he said that, Jim. It's his famous line. The champion has a name, and his name is Charles Oliveira, illuminated by God. Now, yo, my name is Deshaun is asking, do you think it's retarded that Charles gets stripped for missing 0.5 against Gaethje, but allowed to weigh 156 today? Like, is this not a title fight? LOL. I noticed that. What am I supposed to say about it? I don't know. What am I supposed to say about it, Deshaun? I honestly don't know, homie. I don't know what I'm supposed to say about that, but I noticed it. And I guess it's not a title fight. I guess it's technically not. Lift and Inspire says, bro, I know Holloway is going to win, but I want Charles to win. I think everybody knows Holloway is going to win, or they got that feeling that Holloway is going to win. But they almost, you know, they're kind of, their heart wants Charles type thing. Weight bullying is actually worse for the fighter, don't you think? We see a lot of fighters moving up doing better because they aren't drained out. 100% Impact. Holloway at 155 is a problem. He's way better at 55, faster, filled out, and his brain isn't drained. 100% Impact. I couldn't disagree with you if I wanted to. Tyler Betts says 55-pound Max is still undefeated. Chat cooking right now. Chat is absolutely cooking right now. Okay, Sodapop says 6 more fights till El Loco, Patchy Mix. Is the whole card free on YouTube, Sodapop? If the whole card is free on YouTube, that'd be dope. Bro, the thing when Max is going to point down in the ring and Charles just falls down. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. Call me an asshole. I can't wait to see Charles crumble like that. If it has to happen, if Charles has to crumble, he has to crumble. Okay, if Charles has to crumble, he has to crumble. Sodapop says, I have no idea. I'm just looking at results. I will share. Okay, Lift and Inspire says he's going to share the Russian link. Thank you, Lift and Inspire. Yeah, drop it in here. I'll pull it up. Although I can't show it because I'm going to get copyrighted. You know the deal. We got Miata Boy in here saying, sorry, boys, but Max is going to blitz in, and Max will get taken down sub round 3. Oh, my gosh, Miata Boy. I can't wait for you to be wrong, homie. It's going to be so satisfying for you to be wrong, homie. That's all I could really say. That's all I could really say. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. Charles Oliveira, like, he's some type of fucking D1 wrestler, Miata Boy. The hell you talking about? All right. Charles Oliveira don't got the best takedowns, to be honest with you. He not some, all-American college NCAA wrestler that's going to come in and give Max Holloway problems. All right. If 155-pound Max can't stuff a Charles Oliveira takedown attempt, I will be a little bit worried. I think Max Holloway is going to be able to stuff Charles Oliveira's takedown attempts. Call me crazy. But, you got to consider, how is Charles Oliveira's offensive wrestling? He doesn't really possess it. If anything, he pulls guard. Charles Oliveira gets pressed. He can't fight going backwards. Gets pieced up. He pulls guard to delay the action. Instinctually overshooting on takedowns. In Charles Oliveira's last few fights, I'm pretty sure he's pulled guard more than he's fucking, shot for a takedown. But let's let the conversation keep flowing with that. I'd like to see what other people got to say. Prob same price as the last one you copped. It was like $50, the TV app. Max also went up to fight Gaethje, then cut down again to fight Ilya. Not a good decision. Next fight will be way different at 55 again against Ilya for undisputed. Yeah, and this is also Max's second fight back up at 55. He fought Poirier. Now he returning again, right? He's not making that cut back down, then coming back up. So he's even more, filled out at 155, you could say. He's at 155 to stay now. He's not worried about coming back down, so he put on the muscle. I think he's fully grown into the 155-pound frame now. Fully grown into it. And he's building off that Poirier fight, too. He's building off of it. He had to build back up, so to speak, after that Ilya, All right, maybe now I'm making excuses for Max Holloway, so I'm going to stop making excuses for him. The boys are fucking spamming Do Bronx. Okay, enough of the spamming of Do Bronx, boys. We don't need all the spamming of Do Bronx now. M.A. Rio says, think Do Bronx would choke him in 3rd or 4th round. I love Max, but this time my money goes on Do Bronx. Fair enough, Rio. Fair enough. If Charles wins, it's Conor at the White House or the Arman rematch. If Max wins, I don't know if he surpasses Gaethje. LOL. Yeah, Lift and Inspire. Drop the link in here. Let's watch this face-off, though. This legendary face-off. Let's watch this shit. These boys are going crazy with the Do Bronx spamming. Lift and Inspire. Drop the link in here. Let's watch
Hold
this
on.
face-off, though. This legendary face-off. Let's watch this shit. These boys are going. Okay, let's watch this. You think Nate is on the White House card? Yeah, thank you, Jew. Thank you. See what I mean every time? Every time with the headphone. I'm trying to get better at catching it. My chats are being blocked. Damn, homie. The hell are you saying, Miata boy? I think Nate is on the White House card. I don't think so.
In each other's face, neither guy backing down, smushing each other's noses. I'm excited about this fight, but there's one thing I was thinking the whole time is
Absolutely mogged him. I mean, if you don't think Max Holloway mogged Charles, you're crazy. 56% of you guys are picking Charles. How fucking dare you?
God, I hope it goes to the final 10 seconds so I can see the point down and I can see Charles back up what he said, that he was going to trade with Max. Look, Charles has knocked guys out. Obviously, Max has. I want to see this last 10 seconds. I want to see the point down and these guys swing for the fences.
Dustin Poirier, the worst picker of all time for fights. All right, let's end this poll. They releasing the White House card tomorrow, possibly. I heard Dana said he's going to release it on Monday, Jew. The White House announcement is coming on Monday. That's what I heard. Who mogged who? Max mogged Charles. Yeah, even Jim Lotus saw it. And Jim Lotus knows it when he sees it. You feel me? Jim saying Max was intimidating him. Jim Lotus knows, bro. He trains fucking UFC. Jim Lotus knows. Charles mogged Max. Dustin Bulky got some new teeth. What's going on? I don't know how I feel about old. JP Money says Dustin is coked out. I don't know how I feel about retired Dustin Poirier. Retired Dustin is like, oh my gosh, he's gonna turn into a total freaking like Chad essentially. Or like, what do they call those tools from the Jersey Shore? He gives me those vibes. Like spray tan, the teeth, bulked up. Fucking Poirier. All right, let's watch another angle of this face-off, though. We need all the angles of this face-off. Let's see this one. All right, let's see it. What's up with this? With the quality of this camera? Guido, something like that. Yeah. It's the buzz cut. Yeah, maybe it is the buzz cut. The buzz cut plus adding another 10 pounds to his frame, I think is what it is. You know, he got a buzz cut, then he added on like 10 pounds of water weight. Go back to the part. Shout out to DP though. I love DP. We just trolling him. Guido. I don't know how to spell it. Okay, Guido. Yeah, going full Guido on us. DP going full Guido. Shaved head. No, the shaved head is less Guido. If he had gel in his hair, that would be more Guido, wouldn't it? All right, let's see this face-off, though, one more time. And it goes for days. The lore of this fight goes for days. We got Dragon Ball Z versus, like, Pokemon if we're really going into it deep. You feel me? If we're really going into it deep, we got, like, Dragon Ball Z versus Pokemon. We got the nine-tailed fox sleeve on Max Holloway versus the Pokemon sleeve on the thigh for fucking Charles. Which anime is gonna win? Shit. And my bad. The nine-tailed fox is Naruto, not Dragon Ball Z. So my bad on that one. Misspoke. I know that somebody's gonna come after me for that one. That's an egregious error. I will admit it. Oh my goodness gracious, though. I mean, one more time. One more time. One more time. The handshake just immediately locked in. Get Max settle in. Charles Oliveira walking up on him. Max settles in. He goes, oh, you want to walk up on me? My feet cemented in this ground. We going nose to nose. Look at him. Watch it one more time. Yeah, we want that shit. You know what? We might have even initiated that. Let's take that a step back. Did we initiate that? We might have even initiated this. Holy shit. Rewatching it, we might have initiated this. Charles didn't even really walk up on us that aggressive. Max fucking initiated it, I think. We not waiting to see what type of time Charles is on. We set in the time. We set in the temperature. We set in the temperature. We not waiting to see what type of time Charles is on to react to. He reacting to us. All right? Look at Charles taking it. Look at Max mogging Charles. Look at him. Look at Charles. This is one of the craziest moggings I have ever seen. Let's finish this off. Oh my gosh, look at the mogging is crazy. Who looked away first? Exactly. Shout out to Flo for the $2 dono. Thank you, homie. You already know who looked away first. Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira looked away first. And I spoke about the breakdown of this fight, but let me just say one more thing. The skill sets could go completely out the window because there's one X factor here that's very important to address, and that is, right, the mental going into this fight. Max Holloway, notoriously headstrong, never been broken necessarily going into a fight mentally. The last time it happened to Max where he got broken going into a fight mentally was against Conor McGregor back in the day. Okay, back in the day, Max Holloway, he got a little bit, you know, the hype got to him with Conor McGregor, right? He underperformed a tad bit against McGregor, and that's fine. But ever since then, Max Holloway has never mentally broke in any capacity in any fight ever since Conor McGregor lost. He has never mentally broke in any capacity inside that cage. We cannot say the same for Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira be breaking on the regular. Mentally. And I'm just saying, Max Holloway never going to break in that octagon. So, you know, let's see what happens. Because Charles Oliveira, he known for it. This is what happened in their last fight. Charles Oliveira said, too much, I quit. You know, he called quits due to an injury. So just understand that there is this aspect going into the fight, the mentals, the battle of the mentals. Max Holloway, super headstrong. Charles Oliveira, he's both. He's either a marauder or he's an absolute head case. He's literally an absolute marauder or an absolute head case. There's no in between. And you guys should know what I'm talking about. You should absolutely know what I'm saying when I say that. You know, Charles, he will run through his opponent. But it seems like when he, you know, faces the tougher competition, the more mentally strong competition, you know, all of a sudden he's not that marauder anymore. All of a sudden he's a head case now. So, and by the way, what's up with this little finger condom Sean Shelby got on? What the hell? What in the diddy was he up to before this weigh-in show? Homie got a finger condom on his thumb is just crazy work. Okay. Homie got a finger condom on his thumb. I mean, what the hell was he doing? I could only imagine. Run up the likes on the stream, everybody. Friendly reminder to do so. Run up the likes on the stream. If you can't tell, I'm very excited for this fight. My man, Max Holloway, about to defend his BMF strap. Let's get it. Let's see another angle of the face-off right here. Look at Charles fidgeting with his pants. I'm just going to be going in because I love Max Holloway, so just deal with it. Okay? But look at Charles Oliveira fidgeting with his pants. Max Holloway stoic as a motherfucker. No fidgeting. We locked in. We couldn't be more locked in. Yeah, we want that shit. And yeah, on second thought, Max Holloway did initiate it. Max Holloway asked for this. He went nose to nose with Charles. Charles didn't want it. Max said, you going to take this right now, though? We finna do this right here, right now, whether you like it or not, Charles. It's finna get spicy right here, right now. Whether you like it or not. All that friendly shit out the window. Look at Max locked in. I mean, this is a mogging of the century. I'm going to keep saying it. The mogging of a century right here. And then this too. This too. I mean, I never seen Max this locked in going into a fight. Pete Max at the official weigh-ins this morning. Homie actually on weight here, so it hits different because when these guys are on weight, they're still struggling, right? So they're really in their mental bag. Like, these guys are going through the most at this moment in time when they step on this scale. Look at Max Holloway, the type of time he's on when he steps on this scale. I mean, if there's a definition for locked in, it's this right here.
$155.5, the official weight for Max Holloway.
I mean, come on. Come on. One more time. One more time. This is how I'm coming all 2026. I'm this locked in all 26. One more time.
$155.5, the official weight for Max Holloway.
Demon time if I ever seen it. Demon time if I ever seen it. Miata Boy says he's been glazing Charles all week to the point where it might be sus. Well, luckily for me, I've only been glazing up Max today, so I'm chilling. I've only been glazing up Max today. Shout out to the Juice Man. Blessed Express. You already know, homie. You already know. You already know the champion has a name and it's Max Holloway, Juice Man. The champion has a name and it's Max Holloway, baby. Max going to show there's levels. Now, I'm not going to act like, you know, Max is levels above Charles. But shit. Shit, he finna win this shit. I know it. I know he finna win this. One more time, look at Charles weigh in. Let's just study it. You know, playing up to the crowd, smiling. I did see someone comment saying Charles is going to be big as hell in that octagon tomorrow night. And yeah, he might be. He might be. He might be. He might be. Yeah. I mean, shit, homie ready too. I'm not going to say that there's weakness in this. I'm not going to say that there's weakness in it. Homie ready to go. Homie ready to go. Now, while we're speaking about the weigh-ins, I'll just mention it to you real quick that Jiyoung Yeong Lee versus Gaston Bolanos is out. Jiyoung Yeong Lee, I guess, couldn't make weight or some shit, so it is what it is. Jim Lotus says he thinks Max is going to win. Let's go. Jim Lotus, he going back and forth. Jim is with Max, then he with Charles. He was just spamming Du Bronx in the chat for a hot minute. Now Max is too tough. Max is tough. Let's get it, Jim. Let's get it. You already know who we rocking with. You already know. But the poll did say, you know, the majority of you guys are rocking with, by a small percentage, but the majority of you guys in the chat are rocking with Charles. Crazy work, though. That's crazy work. Can I see the poll? Guess I can't see it. Oh, well. I'm sure I can see it. Let me just scroll slower. Oh, yeah, here's the poll. Yeah, 56% of you guys are picking Oliveira to beat Holloway is crazy. Anyone notice Charles' new tat? What, the Pokemon? So now that we kind of like went through this, you know, over and over and over again, you know, now that I've been redundant, we can move on. I mean, look at Dana balling out in his poly market chain. I thought this shit was fucking AI. But yeah, we're on to the next topic right now. So oh damn. Bro, what the fuck? How long has that been? Let me rewind it. I need to see how long it's been. I didn't even mean to do it that time. And Oliveira to beat Holloway is crazy. Anyone notice Charles Newtat with the Pokemon? So now that we kind of like went through this, over and over and over again, now that I've been redundant, we can move on. I mean, look at Dana balling out in his poly market chain. I thought this shit was fucking AI. But yeah, we're on to the next topic right now. So okay, I got you. That was the Illuminati fucking getting me, Jim Lotus. That was the Illuminati getting me. Anyway, no. So all I was saying is that, UFC White House in shambles, question mark. I don't know. Everything that pertains to UFC White House is like, breaking insane news. Like even today, when Dana White announced that he's going to be, apparently announcing the fights for UFC White House tomorrow on the broadcast. So, Jew, if you're still in the chat, I guess you're right, homie. But Dana did say on Piers Morgan that he was going to announce the fights come Monday. So now it's coming 2 days earlier on Saturday. So stay tuned tomorrow for UFC White House fight announcements. But, before the little report about, oh, we got a fight fall off of UFC White House, right? And that was breaking news. Earlier today was breaking news that UFC White House has 2 title fights on there, not 6, not 7. It's got 2. Oh, UFC White House has a name, Freedom Fights 250. It's like, oh my God, I could give a fuck. By the time we circle around to the big actual news, I'm already drained. And this is just from today. Everything pertaining to UFC White House has to be the biggest headline. It's like, it kills me. It absolutely kills me. I just had to rip ass, so sorry about that. I had to mute it for a second. But yeah, it's just like, so going back to it, right? UFC White House, a fight falls off. Is it super insane news? I mean, it sucks. And yes, they were going to announce the fights tomorrow, I guess. So that's going to, put a damper in things. But I mean, the card isn't for another 3 months and like a week. So come on, we can't find another fight to go on this card over the next 3 months. If we can't, the UFC really is down bad. If the UFC really can't, no matter what fight it is, you got 3 months to put on a new fight on there. How down bad are you? Now, so yeah, there's been 3 headlines. 2 title fights on UFC White House. Freedom Fights 250 is the name of the event. And now we had a fight fall through. So, I guess Dana announced it on Nina Drama's stream. Fight. Also, I did want to point this out. I just figure I'd point this out to you guys. For those of you who get it, you get it. If not, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of a side note on things. But I noticed what Dana does with Power Slap. How Power Slap is so successful. Well, Dana, in my opinion, what he's doing with Power Slap, it's the equivalent of like music artists. How they like will how do you say this? Music artists will sell merch, right? And they'll add that to their record sales, to their album sales. If you know, you know. It's a way to manipulate the system, right? They bundle in their merch and shit like that, and it goes towards their album sales. But it's a way to inflate the numbers, right? And make it seem like there's a higher demand for the album than there really is. because they're gaming the system. And stick with me because this is an elaborate thought, but I think that's what Dana does with Power Slap. You know, first off, he shows up here, right? So obviously it's going to get more attention when he pops up here. He goes on Nina Drama stream. He invites every streamer, every celebrity out to the building, you know? And so he gets the credit for these big, illustrious Power Slap events, but are they really? Or is it just like a bundle package, so to speak, when a music artist, you know, is trying to inflate their album sales? Call me crazy. Call me crazy, but, you know, I think that's what Dana does with this Power Slap thing. He invites over all the celebrities and shit like that, and he makes it seem more important than it is. But in all reality, if you didn't invite these streamers, who's really going to be there? You know? Because we don't need to invite no streamers. We don't need to invite no streamers to UFC events, and it's just popping, right? A diehard fan base. I don't think Power Slap has that. And I think it's getting, you know, a false representation from all the streamers popping out here, because all the streamers are just trying to network, you know? Like, why wouldn't Aiden Ross go here? Neon's here, Andrew Tate's here, right? So of course they're all going to go and network and get on each other's streams and whatnot. But honestly, I think it's just inflating the numbers on the tip of, like, you know, music artists inflating their album sales by bundling up merch and shit like that. If you know, you know. If not, then I'm not really going to explain it. You probably don't even care to hear the explanation anyway. And I kind of did already explain it, so. People rocking Power Slap merch, question mark, come on now. I never said anybody was rocking Power Slap merch. Juice says I wouldn't go. Then Miata Boy says more people watch Power Slap than the PFL. Sad. That is sad. That is sad. What am I supposed to say about that? HT says White House card ain't happening. Well, HT, you have been saying this for weeks on end now. And, you know, the evidence is damning, I guess you could say. Not that the White House card isn't happening, but, I mean, shit, a fight falling off definitely ain't a good look. M.A. Rio says, at the moment, the main card is starting. Okay. Shit, is Lifted Inspire in here for the Russian link or what? Useless says, dude, I think Arman versus the other guy rematch gives the other guy a chance to win because he knows Arman now. I mean, yeah, Useless. I mean, the match needs to be run back. The match needs to be run back, and you know, no more penalty points this time around. They need to have a set rule system. A lot of points were missed. That's what I got to say. A lot of points were missed, and a lot of points were awarded unnecessarily. You know, Arman missed points for him. Giorgio missed penalty points for him. There was confusion about takedowns. All this stuff needs to be wrinkled out before they run it again. Before they run it again, it needs to be ironed out. Juice saying, Iran is shadow banned. I feel you, homie. What were you trying to say about it? Tony says, my bad, I misheard. No worries, homie. That's why I said, if you didn't get it, don't even worry about it. I was drawing in two different worlds to make an example. So if you did mishear it, don't even trip. All I'm basically saying is Dana White's making his Power Slap events seem more important and more popular and in more high demand than they really are because he invites all the streamers and all the celebrities out to it. That's all I'm saying. I mean, simply put, that's what I'm saying. And shout out to everybody watching right now. Shout out to everybody watching right now. Run up the likes on the stream. I mean, if possible. You feel me? 104 people watching the night before on the eve of Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira 2. Run up the likes for your boy. All right. On the eve of Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway 2. Actually, it's Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira 2. Let's be real. Dana more focused on Zuffa Sunday. I still am yet to watch a Zuffa boxing event. Yeah, Dana's so busy growing the Power Slap and fucking Zuffa boxing, he could care less about the UFC. You think Usman Nurmagomedov is joining the UFC soon? I mean, he should. We rocking with the blessed one. Shout out to Sodapop. Finally. Finally, we aligned. Finally, homie. We aligned finally. We always picking against each other. Iran versus UFC White House. Shit, put Beneil Dariush's ass up in there. Who else we got? Who else we got from Iran? Like the stream homie. Shout out to Chain Firing Mech Warrior. Miata said he's gonna watch Ryzen. Okay, so let's kind of get into this, and then maybe we'll watch Ryzen too, but maybe not. Oh, Dana's saying, you know, if I fell through, let's see.
Something about the White House fight. So we've been working on this thing nonstop, and one of the fights literally just fell out when I walked in here. I don't see. I think Hunter killed himself. I don't know. Something about the.
Tyler Betts says he's drinking what is it? Pineapple orange guava, passion orange guava, the Pog juice tomorrow. The Hawaiian Kern Pog juice. If you know, you know. Run up the Pog juice tomorrow. Shit, run up the Spam Musa Bees. Run up the Lumpias. Run up all the Hawaiian food. Run up the fried rice. Run up the chicken katsu. Run up the Saimin. We don't call it top ramen in Hawaii. Okay, for those of you who don't know, we do not call top ramen in Hawaii. It's called Saimin. Okay, so run up the Saimin, run up the Spam Musubi, run up the chicken katsu, run up the mac salad, run up the Pog juice, all right? Because it's an entire Hawaiian festivity tomorrow for UFC 326. Run up the Portuguese sausage. Okay, run it all up, boys. Run it all up. Run it all up tomorrow. Run up the Huli Huli chicken. I might hit LNL tomorrow. Tyler Betts. I couldn't have thought of a better idea myself. LNL will be the move tomorrow. I might go get some LNL tomorrow. I got some beef ramen cooking right now. My man Sodapop eating his Simon as we speak. Okay. So yeah, here's Dana speaking about this, and then here's Hunter Campbell the moment it all went down. And there's some, like, you know, slow motion. The streets having a luau tomorrow. Exactly. Tomorrow is a luau for Max Holloway. Jacob just names top 10 struggle meals. Shit, that's like the top 10 Hawaiian dishes right there.
Heavyweight division, Luke Fernandez versus Rodolfo Bellato.
Poor Mick Maynard has no clue yet. I think. See, what's the name he says here? He says a name. Any lip readers out there? Let's slow it down. I mean, I don't know. People think he said John Jones. I don't think so. I think he does say a name, though. Let's see what he says here.
Official weight 2.
Oh no. Short something. George does? Is he saying, oh no, George does? George does. I feel like he's saying George, as in Jorge Masvidal. Tell me he's not saying George. He's saying George. Kalo is a K. George Masvidal. Hunter has no chance. George versus Conor. OMG, you cracked it, Jacob. Let's see. George does or George Conor? I think he's saying, oh no, George does. Something about an injury. You know, he got a broken hip. He got staph. You know. George does. George does. Wait, what's going on? Are you asking or you're translating? No. I think Ju's asking what's going on. Dana White announced that the UFC White House fight, one of the fights fell through. People are speculating it's a catastrophic bout, you know, a very highly regarded bout on the card, arguably, potentially one of the main events. And we're trying to piece together, you know, Hunter Campbell delivering the news to Mick Maynard reacting and seemingly name dropping whoever just got whispered to him. That's what we're breaking down right now. And I think we got it. It's George. George does. And in my opinion, it's George does. Can't be George. He's been saying he's not on it for the last month. Well, someone else drop an idea in the chat. We got 113 people in here. We playing it in fucking 0.5 speed. Somebody give me your thought. George does. See, even Juice saying, he's like, even though Masvidal's not on it, right? It looks like Mick Maynard saying George. George does. It's George does. Maybe they're talking about getting a room together. Well, that would be funny. George Rush, question mark. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. GSP return. That would be crazy. George blows. George does. It's George does. It's George does. I think a lot of people aren't commenting because you guys, I think a lot of you agree with me. It's George does. It's George does, to the best of my knowledge. Conor going off about the BMF or what? Justin, question mark, out versus Ilya. Now I saw MMA Guru speculating that, but I think he jumped to make a tweet. No. He's saying Joe, not Justin. Justin. I'm going to stick with what I said, Tyler Betts. I'm going to stick with what I said. I don't even think it's Justin Ilya. But I did see Guru tweeted about that. He thinks it's Justin or Ilya or something. Max Holloway, shout out. No way Justin would blow that off. After all his hard work, Justin would literally go in there like with a broken shin. He wouldn't. Yeah, he's fought injured. Yeah, Gaethje wouldn't pull out. Here's Conor's thoughts on the BMF belt. It is a great matchup. Holloway versus Oliveira. I am very much looking forward to it. It is always exciting for me to see fighters rematch. It takes great courage and honor to do so, and I always respect it. Their last time out, it seemed Holloway broke Charles early in the fight, and it was then stopped. It was hard to tell whether it was a genuine injury or a caused one. I see a real good fight, but with a similar outcome, TBH. That's what I'm talking about with that mental. I think Max is light on his feet and can pop Charles and begin to break him again. It is a different Charles, however, we will see. I don't feel the BMF title is accurate here also, with both men suffering in the sauna to make the limit. There is zero BMF about this. For me versus either opponent next, I feel supremely confident. I stop both men in their tracks. I'm a bad man with a good heart, so I may add the BMF belt to my collection. Conor, we want you after too then, homie. We, as in me and Max, all aboard the Blessed Express after we get past Charles Oliveira. We finna get off all up in your ass next, homie. You next. And we ready for you. We've been waiting on that rematch. We've been steady waiting on that rematch. And, you know, we want that ass, Conor. We want that ass. So you ready for me? We ready for you. Once we get past Charles this Saturday, we ready for you, homie. Put your money where your mouth is. And we can run it at 170. We don't give a fuck. What the hell is going on? MMA Real goes, when Joe Rogan announces Jacob, the silent assassin Castro, I'm going to knock you out in the UFC, and you're in the UFC. We will all come to your matches. You will have your own army like Badr Hari. Hey, maybe soon. Maybe not the UFC, but maybe Street Beefs, maybe Brand Risk, maybe Misfits, maybe Karate Combat. You never know. You never know. Okay, but let's hear Conor kind of give his take again on camera.
You know that 170 strap would look great to go for the Triple Crown. I'm a freezer at this weight. Why go down to 155 and drain ourselves and then title it BMF? The BMF title was founded by Nate Diaz at 170 pounds, the creator of the belt. So the belt should be contested at 170 pounds. And I'm up for it. And I'll go and I'll take it. There's so many avenues we can go. And I'm up for every single one. You know that 170.
I mean, all right, Conor. Conor out of his mind again. What's new? Okay, we'll end the mogging poll. What's crazy is how fast the MMA news cycle runs because nobody even cares about Tom Aspinall anymore. I can feel it. Nobody really wants to hear about Tom Aspinall. I still haven't spoke on it, but I just doubt you guys would care that much. But we're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it anyway. So there's 3 clips from the press conference today that we'll look at. There might be a 4th one we'll pull up. But if anyone wants to know the type of time that Tom Aspinall's on with the UFC, we'll take a look now. So, you know, Tom here reacts to Conor Benn signing with Zuffa Boxing for $15 million. And Tom Aspinall, he's like, listen, I think everybody's bothered by this. You know, if one guy's getting paid $15 million and the other guy's getting paid $15K, I think that's a big difference. So let's hear Tom speak on, you know, his opinion on UFC or Zuffa Boxing signing Conor Benn to $15 million.
More than everybody. I think if one guy's getting paid 15 million and the other guy's getting 15 grand, I think that's a big difference, mate. Which is part of the reason that I want to explore other options.
Is part of exploring other options for when you do negotiate, you can say, look, I'm earning X amount outside the ring, maybe I should be earning a bit more in the ring. Well, in the octagon, sorry.
Well, yeah. I'm aware that Eddie and Matchroom are a powerhouse organisation. They'll be working, advising my dad, who is my manager. He has been my manager from the beginning. And I'm sure they'll be getting the point across well for how things stand financially in the future. Everyone can talk about it as much as they want, but what's talking going to do? People have got to start exploring their options and really making a stand for what they believe in, I think. So I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I know that talking on interviews isn't really going to do much. So hopefully I'm here, like, I know me personally, every time I'm going in there, I'm risking my health. That's part of combat sports. And I want to be compensated for that as much as I possibly can.
Juice saying Eddie's going to try to get Tom more money, then bash the UFC when UFC don't pay up. Then UFC is going to stall Tom out. Well, that's what I kind of foresee happening too, low-key. Simply put, you know. But let's hear Tom again. He speaks on this one, and this one was pretty interesting too, you know. Tom Aspinall on signing with Matchroom Talent Agency. Here's the main quote. He goes, I think commercially, there's a lot to be done on my profile. Financially, my ceiling's a lot higher than what I'm getting paid at the moment. So the only thing I can really say is that at least Tom is taking a stand. You know, Tom saying talking in interviews isn't going to do shit. Complaining to your, you know, whoever your favorite person to complain about fighter pay is ain't going to do shit. You got to do something about it. Right. And I think this is a step I would like to see fighters banding together to do something about it, because this is going to help Tom and maybe other individuals who want to go this route. But how accessible is this route to other individuals? Not super accessible. You know, Tom found himself in a right place at the right time situation with the Dana beef, with the injury, with it all, you know, with the Conor Ben signing. It all was the right place at the right time. But you know, how is this going to constitute change for other fighters necessarily? Eddie Hearn is a powerhouse. You can't just go sign to any manager and expect the same benefit to come your way as an Eddie Hearn signing. Willow says, who the fuck is Pat Downey? Homie, how old are you? Pat Downey is an All-American NCAA wrestler. He's a U.S. Open senior level champion. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. He's an RAF competitor. And he's a straight beast. Pat Downey is a straight beast. I didn't mean to offend you by saying how old are you, so my bad. Sorry for being spicy, Will. It's probably just a genuine question. I didn't need to be so spicy. That's my bad, Will. All right. Allow me to check myself, Will. I didn't mean to be so spicy towards you, brother. Okay, let's listen to Tom, though.
Anyone who's followed my career knows how close me and my dad are. My dad is my manager, he's my trainer, he has been from the beginning and stuff. We were saying hopefully this will be the start where other MMA fighters can look at this and be like, shit, look what he's doing, look at the money that he's getting, look at the opportunity that he's getting with Matchroom and Eddie and stuff like that. Like, I want to be a bit of a trailblazer for MMA fighters who can make a lot of money and be successful outside the octagon as well as inside, because a lot of these guys, you know, they're bitching and complaining privately, publicly about the money that we get paid. But listen, that's what we signed up for. So there are other opportunities out there for fighters, and, you know, it's out there for the taking for all of us.
I would say that it will be cool to see Tom Aspinall, if he can make a blueprint for other fighters to follow, that could make it easier for them to follow in his footsteps. You know, once the blueprint is set. But what's the blueprint yet? We don't know. But I could see Tom Aspinall landing a big sponsorship real soon. Real soon. Under Armour, like AJ, something. Something coming his way. And then you take that to the UFC and you say, why the fuck would I fight for this much when I'm getting paid $1 million by Under Armour? You feel me? And that's what they're about to ask him too. So just listen.
What is it that you feel like you do deserve?
I mean, that's a good question, mate. I like that. As I said before, I think that whether it be publicly or privately, a lot of MMA fighters, UFC champions, they like to complain about the money that we're getting paid. But that's the contract that we all signed. We're not going to get more than that. I've accepted that. And I want to make as much money outside of the octagon as I possibly can. I think commercially there's a lot to be done for my profile. I think financially there's a lot, my ceiling's a lot higher than what I'm getting paid at the moment, and I want to explore as much as that as possible.
Yeah, fair enough. And friendly reminder to everybody watching, like the stream and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Currently, we are in a 90-day straight live stream streak. We're in the middle of it. 90 days is the goal, okay? We started it last Wednesday, so we locked in for the next 90 days. Retroactive to last Wednesday. So we're a little bit more over a week. Like, what is that? 9 days in so far? 9 days in, 81 to go. 9 days in, 81 to go. Subscribe to stay locked in on the 90 days straight of live streaming. And like the video if you haven't liked it yet. Last clip that I clipped off and posted on Instagram today is Eddie Hearn speaking on this because it's interesting too. You know, it goes, Eddie Hearn was asked if he expects any retaliation from the UFC in negotiations for Tom Aspinall's next fight after signing with Matchroom Talent Agency. It's a fair question. And honestly, it was an even more fair response from Eddie Hearn. And it's like pointing out the obvious, but how do I say this? It's pointing out the obvious, but the way Eddie Hearn says it, it's like, how is this the norm in the UFC? It's disgusting. And Eddie Hearn kind of simply put, he's like, bro, why the fuck are you going to make it hard on Tom Aspinall because he got a new manager? Right? Just think about the culture in the UFC. How is this stuff shamed, bro? How? He got a manager. He got new representation. UFC, play by the fucking rules. How about that? Play by the rules, bro. Stop relying on your heavy hand, ruling with the heavy fist, so to speak. Do right by the fighters. Play by the rules, brother. That's all we need from you. Now you're going to make it harder on Tom because you guys have been making it hard on Tom in the first place, and now he's getting himself even. He's armoring up to come back to battle with you guys to negotiate, and now you're going to make it even harder on him. The only reason why he's doing this is because you guys have made it hard in the first place. Underpaying his ass. Spitting out narratives like he's not really injured and shit like that. Getting injections and all these things.
I mean, if it does make life difficult for Tom, what kind of organisation are they? What, you're going to make life difficult for Tom because he signed with a manager?
I mean, for real though. For real though. And this is the kind of thing that, you know, you need to start breaking the UFC. Breaking them down, making them feel like this is the norm, this is what they're going to have to deal with when it comes to the fighters. So good on Tom for this. Good on Tom. Good on Tom. I know this is going to be difficult, but shit, we on Tom's side for this one. We rallying around Tom on this one. Okay, the UFC, they might do Tom super dirty. But shit, we rallying behind Tom on this one. I'm going to dedicate this platform to being a voice for Tom Aspinall. And you guys already know I'll do that shit. So, you know, any bullshit that happens, I don't give a fuck about the likes. I don't give a fuck about the engagement. We posting it. Anything shady that happens, we posting it. It's getting priority over UFC White House. That's for damn sure. And that's why I'm one of the realest as they come. Okay, that's why I'm one of the realest. I don't know how the fuck you say it, but I'm one of the realest they come. How the fuck I'm supposed to say that? I'm one of the realest that there is. However you put it, okay? I'm as real as it gets. However you want to put it, okay? Like I just said, we dedicating this platform, not the entire platform, but anything going on moving forward for Tom Aspinall, we got his back. We putting it out there in the open. Daddy Dana better be on his best behavior. Because we got Tom Aspinall's back. I do. The streets do. That's all of you boys in the chat. All 114 of you. Shout out Andrew Nance. My man Andrew Nance. Thanks for dropping in the chat, homie. But shit. We riding with Tom Aspinall. And anything Tom Aspinall related, if the UFC's up to some tomfoolery, okay, I just heard a big old pounding upstairs. We are posting this, and this is taking priority over UFC White House news. Okay? I just heard a massive fucking bang upstairs. So I'll quiet down. Now I'll quiet down my yelling now. It's 12:07. I'll let everybody get to sleep. Okay? If you guys don't know, a lot of you guys don't know because, you know, we got 102 of you in the stream right now. But my neighbor be bitching. She be calling the cops on me for being like I'm being right now. Okay? She be calling the cops on me for being like I'm being right now. Passionate and loud and excited. This bitch be calling the cops on me, ruining my mojo. Okay, so now I got to be a little bit quiet. She just pounded something, so I'm sure she's trying to sleep. So whatever. I'll let it be. But for those of you who don't understand some of the lore, you know, that's the lore. HT says, Jay supporting Tom is the realest. Well said, my man. Shit, shout out to Andrew Nance dropping the 50 ball. Shout out to Andrew Nance. Thank you very much, Andrew. Saying LFG, great work, homie. Thank you, Andrew. Much appreciated, my brother. Much appreciated. Thank you. Times a million, Andrew. I couldn't express it enough, homie. So thank you again. Him's popping in the chat saying, "What's good, fam? What's popping, him? Good to see you in here." And yeah, we're just talking about Tom Aspinall right now. W Andrew. Everybody thank Andrew in the chat. Big W LFG. Shout out to Andrew. Everybody thanking him. There's one other clip though that I wanted to go over. And that is from Champ Rounds. It's just a media scrum they did after. Media scrum they did after. Okay. So Tom Aspinall says he believes Dana White and the UFC should have handled the aftermath of his eye injury better. Something that I've learned from this whole injury thing, you got to make as much money and be as ruthless as possible. Nobody in there is your friend. And I mean, honestly, it's so true, though. It's so true, though. Tom is taking one for the team. He could lose his title and his career. And that's why we got his back. That's why we got Tom Aspinall's back. We don't give a fuck. Fuck UFC White House. Okay? I'm being sarcastic, but you guys know what I'm saying, right? We should be dedicating the news cycle in our platforms to stories like this, not glazing up Daddy Dana and Donald Trump's little fucking event full of fucking elites, okay? That shit don't even relate to us.
Just on Dana, I know that he responded to a comment that I think he believed either you or your father made about you being shit on.
Yeah, I think they could have dealt with it a little bit better. But it's their business, mate. That's you got to go with it. Everyone's got their own opinion, so what are you going to do? Something that I've learned from this whole injury thing and the backlash that I've got and stuff like that, mate, you got to make as much money and be as ruthless as possible. Nobody in there is your friend. And you got to capitalise on the time that you got in the sport, and that's what I'm trying to do.
HT says the streets should all support Tom. Yes, they should. With that being said, I think quite a few people won't, but that's okay. It's like a 50-50 with Tom. And then Juice says, has he spoke on his eye? Is he coming back? Well, what I would say is at the press conference, he did say he's returned to training. So I guess he's back training. And the other thing I would say is, like, this is something nobody's really spoken about yet. And I think it should be said, right? But how do I say this? Tom Aspinall has been very uncommitted, you know, in terms of speaking about his UFC return. He's been making it seem like he, you know, who knows about his future. But, you know, now that Eddie Hearn has signed him, you got to think that, like, he owes Eddie something, right? Like, imagine if Eddie Hearn signs him and then he never returns to the octagon. That's going to be like pulling a Francis. Speaking of Francis, right, he got released from the PFL today, so he's no longer a part of their contract or their promotion. Homie got away with, like, all this money. He only fought for him once. So, like, that's the only thing I would say. This ain't no bash on Tom or nothing, but it's just, like, I think nobody's really brought up the fact that, like, Tom Aspinall's return is still nowhere in sight, right? Nowhere in sight. He's got these syndromes going on that, you know, I don't know. They could be fixed. They could not be. You know, his fighting future is up in the air. And Matchroom has signed him, right? They're going to promote him like the UFC world champion. They're going to get him these sponsorships. They're going to play off of his image that he's the, you know, active, reigning, defending UFC world champion, right? Who basically has never fully locked it in. He got upgraded from the interim status. But all I'm saying, I'm bringing all this up to you guys to say that, you know, there's a chance that Matchroom could do all this for Tom and then Tom never steps back in the cage. That would be crazy. So I think the pressure's on Tom now. The pressure's on Tom now. You got to get back in the UFC. You know, you got to step back in that cage because Eddie Hearn is unloading his pockets on you, you know, in good faith that you're going to be healthy enough to eventually come back. And even if you're not healthy enough to eventually come back, you might have to step in there just to recoup Eddie Hearn's pockets that he dropped on you in good faith. So that's definitely an interesting dynamic to look at. And that might not even play out till you know, decades from now, you know, because Tom's not going to admit that he's stepping back in that cage because he owes Eddie Hearn money, right? He needs to allow Eddie Hearn to recoup his money that he dropped on him, promoting him, growing his name to get a big contract in the UFC, to get a sponsor on a big name brand company, right? That's all going to cost money. I mean, it costs him money to get the press conference going today. It costs him money to fly Tom Aspinall out to, wherever they were to sign that contract. So, Tom, that is one thing. He's taken all the money. It's like he just signed to a record label, right? He just signed to a record label, but honestly, he's not rapping, right? If you guys can understand, some of the trap terms here. Tom Aspinall just signed to a record label, right? And he's still recovering from vocal, cord surgery, so to speak. Does that make sense now? That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Tom Aspinall just signed to one of the biggest record labels out there, probably, coming off not even fully recovered from vocal cord surgery. We don't even know how good he can sing. We don't even know how good homie can rap still. And they just signed him. They dropped the bag on him, and they're already running the promo campaign. They're already running the promo campaign in good faith that he can still spit bars once his vocal cords heal. Hopefully you guys get the comparison here. I'm not speaking on Tom Aspinall being a legit rapper. I'm just trying to help you guys understand on a different term of understanding here. So, that's what I'm trying to say. And Tom is going to owe them something. Tom is going to owe them something. Whether it's in the form of stepping back in that cage or maybe having to pay him back on an advance or something. I don't know. But that is worth looking into. Definitely worth looking into and keeping your eyes out for it. But again, this is news that could come out after Tom retires, right? This is storylines that would come out after Tom retires. Not really while he's actively fighting, because why would he admit that he's, held hostage to the record label, so to speak? Tom don't have much outside the UFC. I mean, it's very true. It's very true. They're making him to be a star, but he's really not. Let's be real. Let's be real. Tom's not a star that he thinks he is. He ain't no Arman Tsarukyan now. Damn, Eric has a good point. Eric goes, hate to say it, but Tom will get released from UFC and Eddie will put some kind of event together that'll get him paid, but will flop in terms of viewership and do absolutely nothing for the sport. I mean, that's pretty much what happens today, right? That's what the Floyd Mayweather fucking fights are about. That's what Ronda Rousey's about. That's what Jake Paul's doing with Ronda and Gina. Eric? That's exactly what Jake Paul's doing with Ronda and Gina. I could see that. Tom Aspinall headlining against like a Francis Ngannou on Netflix. France is a free agent now. Tom Aspinall can get released from the promotion somehow, some way. I could see him running it with Francis Ngannou on Netflix. They are treating Tom like this image, what they treat the small prelim guys like. Yes, they are. But honestly, he kind of isn't that big of a star, no? Like I said, Arman Tsarukyan's a bigger star than Tom Aspinall. Kind of a childish move by Eddie, swapping side pieces. Tom's career going to end up collateral damage. I mean, if he's signing Tom Aspinall in bad faith, this whole deal could be very, the whole thing is very fishy, right? The whole thing is tough. I was speaking about this last night, so I don't want to restate a lot of the things I was saying, but, I was speaking on this last night. And I was saying, I just hope that Eddie has the right intentions by signing Tom and it's not some revenge piece on the UFC, because Tom could get fucked again. And that's the last thing he needs. Him says, I forget the name of that dweeb standing next to Dana, but he has no business doing matchmaking for the UFC. Just look at his face. Dude looks like a joke. That's Hunter Campbell. I think he has a lot of Botox or something. His face looks different. That's all I'll say. His face does look different. I don't think people are born this way. I think he has Botox or he had some type of nose surgery, something. something. But the way he looks, it's not natural. Dana's DNA is insanely petty. Tom is putting his career in jeopardy for the guys on the bottom. I mean, first and foremost, Miata boy, I think Tom's doing it for himself. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. I think first and foremost, Tom's doing it for himself. And as a byproduct, you know, yes, the guys on the bottom may stand to benefit from this, but Tom is first and foremost doing this for himself. That was the main motivation. It wasn't, oh, I'm doing this for the guys, you know, the guys on the roster. Tom is being used as a pawn in Eddie and Dana's pissing contest, career suicide. Honestly, how could I disagree? The writing's on the wall, is it not? No, I'm not saying it's going to be exactly career suicide. He might actually benefit from their beef, right? But it would be fair to say that he is being used as a pawn in their pissing contest. It's definitely not a flawed way of thinking. I disagree, says MCR. I think Tom is a massive star, world record fight finish times, and solid heavyweight champion. But what do you mean solid heavyweight champion? You know? He was the interim champion, and then he got upgraded to undisputed. So, like, and that's, you know, it's the UFC's fault, but that's why there's been a lack in star power growth, is that he was never really undisputed. The one time he got to become undisputed and defend that belt, right, and really start being the big guy on the block, the whole eye poke situation happened. So I think if you guys are, I mean, I get what you're saying as far as like the world record fight finish times, but I think if you guys are also honest with yourself, you'll see what I'm saying, where it's like, you know, Tom Aspinall being held down for so long because of the Jon Jones situation, it did dwindle his star power. You know, he didn't get the same shine as being an undisputed champion for that time that Jon Jones was getting it, because who was Dana talking about at the press conferences being the best pound for pound fighter in the world? It was Jon Jones. So that's where I'm coming from a little bit, is I think that whole thing slowed down his star power growth. Miata Boy says Tom has a big YouTube channel. He's got 600K. Legit MMA says Tom is the most dangerous man on planet Earth, in my opinion. That should speak for itself. Miata Boy says Tom is a big star. Well, I've stated my case. You guys stated your case. So we'll see where the chips land. But you know, he might become a more bigger star now because he signed with Eddie Hearn, but as it stands right now, he's not the biggest star. That's just my opinion, you know. But it's also not my opinion. Like, I believe that there's facts to back that up. I don't have the facts on me, but, you know, I'd love to know how much pay-per-views he sold with Cyril Gane, you know, compared to Charles versus Ilya. You know, Dustin versus Max. I would love to see how he stacks up against these guys, because that's the real gauge. You know, you could have 1 million followers on Instagram, right? It doesn't mean that people are going to buy your fights. It just doesn't mean that. You can game the system on Instagram. You can engagement farm on Instagram. You can clip farm on Instagram. And this also applies to YouTube. And that can get you, you know, people to follow you. But that doesn't mean they're going to go ahead and buy your fight. You know, people purchasing your fights and tuning in, they are two different things. You know, 600K on YouTube, it unfortunately doesn't translate to just like, oh, you know, that's a shoe in. They're all paying $59.99, all of them. You know, and I know that you don't do that nowadays, but so it might be easier to gauge it in the near future as far as Tom's star power in the sport, because all we need to pull up is the live streaming numbers. That's all we need to pull up to find out, you know, how big of a star Tom is. I think that it would surprise a lot of people. But once again, you know, this whole thing has also indirectly grown his name, you know, indirectly. Like, this was not the UFC's plan, but because of how badly they fucked him and the outrage from people and, you know, Tom's YouTube channel, them posting, keeping everyone updated, you know, yeah, the interest in his return is probably going to be pretty big now. It's a nuanced conversation. Yo, but Francis versus Tom would go crazy. It kind of would, you. It kind of would. Tell me why that's the best heavyweight fight they could put together right now. You know? That's literally the best heavyweight fight they could put together right now. How crazy would that be? UFC would be pissed, low key. They would never admit it, but they'd be pissed. Tom Aspinall versus Fury's dad. Him says Arman is bigger on social media, but Tom is a bigger MMA star, in my opinion. Again, these are just conversations to be had, and it's kind of opinions, so it's fine. Nobody really knows. We can all share our opinions. I would just say him, as far as sharing my opinion back with you, would be that, you know, Arman, I think that he has more support from his home country in Armenia than Tom Aspinall has in London or in the UK. I think Armenia rides behind Arman more than the UK rides behind Tom Aspinall. That would be a guess, and they're all guesses. But I would also say that the US is more behind Arman than they are behind Tom Aspinall, because there's more Armenians in the US anyway. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of people from the UK and the US too, but there is a big population of Armenians in the US. And I think he's also crossed over with the Russians and the just Americans in their own right, you know, like regular white people, so to speak. So personally, I think Arman's a bigger star in MMA. You know, he got the Armenian fan base from Armenia. He got the Armenian fan base from the US, plus the American, like just the regular Americans from the US, plus the Russian fan base, right, from his fight with Islam back in the day. So I would say Arman got the bigger fan base, but it's all up for debate. You know, I don't know for sure. Sodapop wants to fight O'Malley, 2029 main card scrap. Shit, O'Malley gonna be like 40. Actually, no, that's only 3 years from now. In 3 years, I'll be in the UFC, and I haven't even started training yet. I just know it. Sodapop, we with you, homie. We rocking with you. No dream too big, homie. You just gotta believe in yourself. When I win the title, I'm gonna be like, shout out Buck for being my inspiration. Let's go. I love it. I love it. Miata Boy says Tom needs to stay in the UFC. He's one of the best heavyweights we've seen in years, and it would be a waste of talent if they cut him. I agree. I don't think they should cut him. And then I'll give you all the exclusive interviews, Jacob. Perfect. Match made in heaven, Sodapop. Shit, you know I need them. You know I need all the exclusives. Speaking of that, still no Joaquin Buckley. Where the fuck is Joaquin at? All right, Joaquin just leaving me on fucking standby for this pre-fight interview. Honestly, homie leaving me on standby for the pre-fight interview. It's crazy work. Day like fucking 14 waiting for the Joaquin Buckley, you know, interview to happen. In all my years of interviewing Joaquin Buckley, it's never been this hard to get him on, I swear. I swear it's never been this hard to get Joaquin on after a fight booking than it is right now. And I don't necessarily know why. Him says, Gane is a dirty fighter, but I think you agree if that fight went on longer, Aspinall would have destroyed him in there. At least that's my opinion. It's hard to say, him. It's actually hard to say. You know, all I can say is I would have liked to see it play out more. Him. That's all I can really say. You know, I would have liked to see it play out more. I think Tom I wasn't counting Tom out yet. You feel me? I think Tom had a little bit more things he could have tried in there, switched up the game plan a little bit after the, you know, first round, second round, third round, right? Start deploying his grappling, start inching on Ciryl Gane, so to speak, right? Ciryl Gane off to a hot start, but I think Tom Aspinall could have been inching on him, you know, as that fight went on. One takedown from Tom Aspinall, you know, what happens then? They go back to their corners. They come out for the following round. What happens then? Right? Because Gane, like I just said, he got off to a real hot start. He was fresh. But I wanted to see Tom Aspinall work more of his game plan in there and see how Ciryl Gane dealt with it. I believed Tom Aspinall could have won that fight going into it. Watching the fight, I mean, it wasn't going well for him. but I didn't count him out. Tom says, I get what you're saying. Tom isn't clouded like that. You know. I'll say this. Let's put it like this then, right? Let's put it like this. Tom's biggest claim to fame is getting fucked over by the UFC. And if that's your biggest claim to fame, and I know you guys are going to get pissed at me for that, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have these good knockouts. It doesn't mean he didn't do good things in the UFC. But if I'm saying the biggest, the number one claim to fame for Tom Aspinall, the reason why everybody knows him, right? It's because he got honey dicked by the UFC for years now with the John Jones thing. Then the eye poke happens and he's getting fucked over again, low key, right? The UFC keeping their mouth shut for the most part. But, you know, there's a sense going on that he's getting fucked over. So, I mean, if that's Tom's biggest claim to fame, how is he this big star? You know, how? He doesn't have these insane moments on the mic, right? He is. So hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. And it's no hate on Tom. I told you guys, I'm dedicating my platform to making sure that the UFC, if they fuck him over, we're airing out the dirty laundry. But I'm also keeping it a buck across the board. Jim Lotus says John Jones is the GOAT along with Habib. Jim Lotus, honestly, we don't really count Habib that much, homie. You know, Habib, he kind of ran away too soon. You know, I'll put guys above Habib for sure. I'll put GSP above Habib. John Jones cannot be beat. Yeah. Juice says, wouldn't say huge star. A lot of people don't know who he is. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'd arguably say more people know who Kevin Holland is than Tom Aspinall. I mean, low key though. Low key. I think because I don't know if anybody remembers this, but when Kevin Holland fought Mike Malott, there was a little countdown episode, so to speak, and Mike Malott's dad, or I think Mike might have told the story about his dad, or his dad told the story. But anyway, when Mike told his dad that he's fighting Kevin Holland, his dad's like, damn, Kevin Holland? Like, even Pops knew Kevin Holland, right? And honestly, a lot of Pops probably don't know Tom Aspinall. A lot of Pops probably don't know Tom Aspinall. But shit, now honestly, if I'm just being real, I feel like I'm going with that to make my point. So shit, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me on that one. Okay. But I will agree with you that I think Kevin could be, you know, somewhat more of a household name than Tom Aspinall. Is that fair? More of a household name? Is that fair? Let's read some chats. Hold on. Tom would have had more fans if he could fight John, held his career back, then got very bad double eye poke. He can't get a break. I mean, Miata boy, this is all true. This is all true. I'm not blaming Tom. So it honestly can't be stated enough. You know, don't be fucking grouping me in this category of a Tom Aspinall hater, because that couldn't be further from the truth. But I am speaking about Tom objectively. You know what I mean? Across the board. Just because I ride with Tom and I'm on his side doesn't mean I have to completely glaze everything about him. So yes, I'm on Tom's side, but yes, I will also be speaking about him objectively. Jew agrees, said, you know, if he beat Jones, he could have been big. True. True. Star power is relative. Cyril Gane has a movie on Netflix. One is Tom's movie coming out. I mean, 93 Octane. It's a great point. Miata Boy says Tom has a belt. So what? Another great point. These are all great points. Having a belt doesn't make you a star. Another great point. Another great point. Shout out to Bilal Muhammad, right? Bilal Muhammad is a perfect example, right? Sodapop is getting chinned out by Bobby Green, RIP. Ruby Z saying Joaquin lurking in chat. Andrew Nance saying Buck. Sodapop says Buck posted on his IG notes cold game like 3 hours ago. I think because I didn't see it before that. Should everybody dropping Buck in the chat? But where is Buck? Where the fuck is the homie Buck, man? Where's Buck, man? He told me he's locked in with me. He told me he hit me back up last week for the interview. He told me he hit me up this week for the interview. No Joaquin Buckley. Shit, man. We sitting on our hands waiting patiently for the Joaquin Buckley, Sean Brady pre-fight interview. Shout out to Buck. Homie was supposed literally since we're on the Buck topic, homie was literally told me he's down to come on the live stream tomorrow. I don't think that's happening anymore. Buck is too locked in almost. Joaquin is almost too locked in. Okay. We're supposed to do the interview. We're supposed to do a live stream and a fight companion for UFC 326. He's definitely not doing the live stream tomorrow. Okay, and I'm waiting, sitting on my hands for this interview. Homie better be locked in. Because I've never seen anything like this from Joaquin in my life. Crazy work. What do we think about this? Thomas heavyweight Arman, that's a great comment. Thomas pulling a Francis, another great comment. To be that man, you gotta beat the man, and Aspinall did not do that. He did not do that. Damn, the chat just spitting facts right now. Bobby Green, my favorite person to have a tattoo hairline. That's diabolical. Bobby Green title run starts now. Yes, it does. Meowed boy. I'm playing. He don't got a title run starting, but it's okay. HT says Tom was gonna bloody KO Gane in the second round. Gane was tiring. That's why he eye gouged Tom to get a rest. Damn, you guys be spitting facts. I'm not gonna lie to you. Fuck Cyril Gane till it's backwards. Fuck Cyril Gane till it's backwards. And that's like, the two don't have to coincide, right? Like, you don't have to agree with Tom Aspinall. You do not have to agree with Tom Aspinall and his eye poking, but it's fuck Cyril Gane till it's backwards. Straight up, it's fuck Cyril Gane till it's backwards. Tom needs a huge brawl like Arman for real. These are the things, you know, this is what really grows your name. It's honestly what grows your name. Because it's like, oh, that guy who did this now, right? That's why I said Tom's biggest claim to fame, the big gossip about Tom is like, oh, the guy who got fucked over by the UFC. How popular are you going to get off being fucked over by the UFC? Right? Now, how popular are you going to get from getting in a fucking bench clearing brawl at RAF 08 as a UFC fighter? You know? Yes. That's a way more of a gossip point, you know? Arman headbutting Dan Hooker, then effectively still not getting a title opportunity because of the headbutt, right? That's a storyline that continues to grow. Emma Rio says, I have to go on here. It's 9:30 a.m. Jacob, kind regards from Croatia. Love your channel. Perry Punch. Enjoy, people. MMA Rio, have a good day, brother. Thanks for tuning in. And love from the U.S., California, to be specific. Thanks for all your support. Thank you, everybody, for all your support. Actually, as a matter of fact, everybody watching, thank you. Tony says, Malak got a brother in NHL, LA Kings. Facts. To this day, Conor McGregor is the biggest star in the UFC, and he hasn't fought in over 4 years. Facts. Him and Nate Diaz, pretty much. Neck tats, SMH. Andrew Nance, not a fan of the neck tats. Tom Aspinall, he looks like he's thugging with those neck tats, and then you hear him open his mouth. You're like, oh, he not thugging. Also, all is the man. Flo, Aspinall is the man. Yeah, Flores, Aspinall is the man, homie. You right. Hello. Saint RG says hello, Jacob. What's poppin', homie? What's poppin'? And the floor says hello. Juice says Aspinall just got fucked, just built up to be his next generation of heavyweight. He gets stalled out, then loses a round to Cyril, gets eye poked, and all the hype goes away, and people hate him. Yeah, it's one of the worst turns of events you could have ever seen. And that's what's making him into a star. It's like this pity party. And it's no blame on Aspinall. He just got fucked, bro. But you know what? Hopefully he doesn't get fucked with this Eddie Hearn signing. And hopefully he comes out on top, you know, as a result of this Eddie Hearn pissing contest with Dana White. You know, hopefully he exploits their beef and he comes out on top. Right? Because Dana White doesn't want to look like a bitch to Eddie Hearn, the guy who he be beefing with. Eddie Hearn gonna be poking and prodding him. You don't got the money? Yeah, serves you right. You a cheapskate. Oh yeah, makes perfect sense. You always been this way. You know, you can't play this game with me. What you so scared of paying your fighters for? You know, I think, you know, if Eddie Hearn is kind of smart, I would play that game with Dana White. You know, go at his ego. You know, fuck the negotiation. Attack his damn ego. Say, you too cheap, you too scary to pay your fighters, right? Make Dana check his ego and drop the bag on Tom Aspinall. That's how I would approach it, low key. Now, that's just a random ass thought, so don't go run into Dana with that. But maybe consider that, or some type of middle ground, you know. And what I'm trying to say is that Dana probably doesn't want to show his true colors to Eddie Hearn. I could see a situation where Dana tries to save face to Eddie Hearn, agrees to the terms and says, see, I'm not who you claim me to be. You think I don't pay my guys? Here's his money. Right? I could see something like that, honestly. Because Eddie Hearn's going to get what he wants the more Dana White refuses to negotiate. Is he not? I feel like that's what Eddie Hearn wants, and that's what would actually fuck over Aspinall, is Eddie Hearn putting these unrealistic demands on Dana White on behalf of Tom Aspinall, and Dana White not wanting to accept it, right? That would be the win for Eddie Hearn. He'd be like, see, you're a piece of crap. But it would also be a win for Eddie Hearn if he could sign Tom Aspinall to a big bag and extract that out of the UFC. So I don't have all the answers, but I do have an ability to kind of look at both sides and tell you guys what's going on, and then I'll let you guys make up your own mind on this one. I still got to think it out myself, okay? But that is some food for thought, you know. What's a win for Eddie Hearn? What's a win for Dana White? Think about those things. Think about those things. You know, Eddie Hearn, a win is both ways. Eddie Hearn almost free rolling. It's a win if I get Tom Aspinall money, and it's a double win if I get Dana White to expose himself for the cheapskate that he is, not paying his fighters. Right? It's a win both ways for Eddie Hearn. Dana White, I don't think it's a win for him if he gets away with not having to pay Tom Aspinall. I think the win for Dana White is to choose to save face and pay Tom Aspinall. I think that's the move for Dana White. And say, Eddie Hearn, you know, you want it to be this big drama show. Here's Tom Aspinall's money. He deserves it. He's a great fighter. Pour cold water on that fire. Miata Boy says Tom's neck tat is top 10 worst neck tats. Andrew says, where's Buck? Homie, where the fuck is Buck? I'm about to send the streets over to go spam Buck's comments. You know, it's getting to a point we're going to have to send the streets over to spam Buck's comments and tell him, we waiting on the interview, big dog. We literally waiting on the interview, big dog. JP Money says, my name is Jacob too. Sodapop says, Buck is locked in. Andrew Dan says, LOL. Saint RG says, hello for all the Jacobs. Should all the Jacobs in the chat? We brothers. We brothers. And if you go by Jacob over Jake, we even more so brothers. Okay, because I always stayed 10 toes down on the Jacob. I never went by Jake. Holy glaze, Miata Boy. Miata Boy goes, Buck is probably hitting a 10 out of 10 right now as we speak. I mean, Miata Boy. Holy glaze, homie. Holy glaze. Just saying before it was Aspinall could beat Jones. Nobody beats him. And now we're not even sure he's the best heavyweight right now. I mean, we got to see it, right? We got to see it. But yeah, based off what we saw from Cyril, we don't know that he's the best heavyweight. He really got to come back and just smash Cyril to get back on top, man. Okay, so speaking of that, Tom Aspinall does say he has unfinished business in the UFC. And I think at this point I have counted out Ryzen. So no Ryzen 52 tonight. No Ryzen 52. We're chopping it up. We chatting. Ryzen 52 is going to kill the vibe.
Aspinall-Gane is obviously the rematch that everybody is talking about, and that is what people are saying would be next when you come back. Is that the plan? Is that what you would be looking for?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. We got unfinished business.
Yeah, is there even more of a hatred there now because of everything that has happened?
I'd like to think about my opponents like I don't hate or love them, but I'm definitely not that happy about this one.
Has Cyril reached out at all? Do you think he will?
I don't really care if he does or he doesn't, to be honest.
Aspinall-Gane is obviously the rematch.
Okay, so, you know, there's that. There's that. Tony says Eddie's going to hire me for ideas. Facts, though. I got the ideas. Anyone got a Russian link? Anyone got the Russian link? I probably will end up buying this card as long as it's not too expensive. It's not on one of these streams. No Russian link. How much is Ryzen 52? Law Reigns, what you watching it on? Sodapop says, I have a link, but it's not working for me. Yeah. Ryzen 52. It's $20. Kiyoma Akimoto versus Patchy Mix. It's on YouTube, bro. International fans can watch live on Ryzen.tv. Well, here we are on Ryzen.tv, and you gotta buy it. Yeah, you gotta buy it for $19.99 or subscribe for $16.99. Law Reigns, what kind of link do you got, homie? Because here I am. I'm on YouTube. Here. I didn't see the link, Law Reigns. Fight Network, comma YouTube. Okay. Somebody risking their YouTube channel to show the fight. Yeah, Fight Network is live. Video unavailable. The uploader has not made this video available in your country. Yeah, we're kind of fucked. No, it's a legit channel. Nah, yeah, I'm here. But as you can see, homie, not available in my country. But like, I honestly want to see it. I feel like I should watch it, right? Dan must be Canadian or something that's got English commentators too. Yeah, I need a fucking VPN. A VPN Would have helped me tremendously. Okay, Sodapop sent me a link on Twitter. Let's see if it works. Homie got the links. Shout out to everybody watching. You know, like the video, like the stream, and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Oh, yeah, I got it. Shout out to Sodapop. Thank you, homie. Yeah, I got this shit. I got it locked in here, as you can see. But I can't show you guys. I can't show you guys. You got a VPN? I don't got a VPN, homie. Been banger fights whole night. Okay. Koji Takeda. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3 fights until Patchy Mix. Stream it on Cord. Okay. All right, let me pull up the Discord. How do I let's see. Okay. Problem is, I noticed that my stream starts lagging whenever I do this, whenever I show it on the Cord. Okay. You guys should be locked in. You guys should be locked in the Discord. If you click on the link, you could watch Ryzen 57. You see it? Perfect. Tyler Betts says, yo, still live, LFG. Shit, I probably wouldn't have been live, but the boys want me to stream this card, so I'm gonna stream it. Damn. Yeah, I'm gonna have to throw the hood back on. My hair looking crazy. I just got back to shit. Shout out to you boys. Yeah, we're watching the Ryzen 52. So click the link in the Discord to watch it. I got your Discord. Perfect. Yeah, the mat's got a bunch of blood. That's what Law Reigns was saying. Round 2. Dude in the white shorts is getting off on the black shorts. Time, please. Oh, 4:36 in the round. Oh, you want a little clock? Black shorts grappling with the white shorts, dude. Up in the corner. Oh, yeah, I see the Koji dude leaking now. White shorts is the better striker. Koji seems to be trying to get it on the ground. Koji's still grappling him, though. Koji's still grappling. Sodapop says, I don't want to fight anymore. Yeah, dude, this shit ain't sweet. Damn, still can't get the takedown. Shout out Unbroken. Unbroken would love to see this twink Koji right now. Damn, he finally got him down. Koji Takeda finally got him down. Rear naked choke? Homie's that bad of a grappler or what? Let's see it. Russian dude has stood up. Koji got the body triangle locked on the back. Russian dude threw him off the top. Now they're back standing, clinched up. Koji trying to get another takedown, most likely. Victor can't get anything off right now, though, because the heavy grappling from Koji. Koji trying to drag him down again. All round, all grappling. Okay, I think I don't mean to disappoint anybody, but I think I'm gonna watch maybe the end of this fight and then hop off. But for Sodapop, I'll keep it playing in the Discord for you, homie. So even if I hop off YouTube, you can still see it in the Discord. But it's 1 a.m. here, and I don't feel like sitting in the chair for another hour and a half on camera waiting for Patchy Mix to come up. I just don't got it in me. You feel me? You guys should feel me on that. Oh, nah, Jacob giving up. I think I'm going to tap out, homie. I got to get some rest. But I'm going to still leave the stream up for you. All right, round 3. Sorry there's no clock, guys. I don't got the clock on me. All right. Clock will be on for tomorrow's live stream. Everybody tap in tomorrow for the UFC 326 live stream, by the way. Right now, I'm watching Ryzen 52. These boys are swinging. Koji, he's striking a bit more, but with the intention of getting a takedown eventually. Everybody in the stream right now, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, and make sure to tune into tomorrow's live stream. I want it to be popping. Okay, I want the same amount of people that are in here right now to be in tomorrow's live stream. So, if you're new to the channel, welcome, subscribe. Shit, we live for the next 90 days. We in the midst of a 90-day lock-in. And now the Russian Victor is in on a takedown attempt on Koji. Let's see what's going to happen with this. Patchy Mix the main event, but I'm not going to be live for it. I'm going to dip out before it. Koji kind of got the position reversed now, grappling back. Back to striking with these guys now. 2 minutes 30 left in the round. I'm assuming Victor won the first round. Hard to score the second because Koji grappled him the entire round, but barely fought. You know, Victor fought more in the first 45 seconds of that round than Koji did, grappling him in the last 4 minutes of that round. So Ryzen does favor, you know, fighting more than grappling. And Victor fought more in the second, but he got controlled more as well. So I don't know who won the second. I would maybe lean towards Victor, but I wouldn't be surprised if Koji got it 1-1. Two minutes left, just under 2 minutes left in the round. "90-day fiance type." This fight not in no cap, it's not. I just want to see a flying knee slump. Cupcake says, "In the mist, in the midst." Somebody go cold, please. I know. Not going to happen, it doesn't look like. But I don't doubt that the card's been good. Of course, I just had to tune in on one of the more slow fights, but that's all right. 1 minute left in the round. Yeah, they put me to sleep. That's okay. It's okay. I'm not blaming the guys. Shout out to Ryzen. I like Ryzen. I'm not going to hate on a Ryzen fight, really. How fucking egotistical of me just to turn on Ryzen and like be like, "Oh, fuck this shit. It's boring." I won't do that to him. I just turned it on. I don't know how the event's been going. But damn, Koji just dropped Victor. Nasty knee to the head on the ground. Damn, another knee to the head on the ground. This is why I love Ryzen. I would never talk shit on Ryzen. I love it too much. Between the strikes to a grounded opponent, soccer kicks and shit, and knees. On top of that, favoring damage over grappling. I mean, I love Ryzen's rule set. Couldn't love it more. Ryzen has the premier rule set of MMA. The only thing that would make it better is a 10-minute first round. That's the only thing that would make it better. But yeah, at least we got a couple knees to the head of a grounded opponent at the end of that fight. I think Koji won that, though. I think Koji won that fight. At least he won the third. He looks like he's going to throw up, though. Homie looks like he got a burp or throw up. Homie throwing up in the bucket. Homie throwing up in the bucket. Grueling. Grueling fight. Asia won that for real. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna sign off after this. They did wake me up. Shout out to everybody watching who tuned in tonight. I'm about to get off, but tune in tomorrow. We got the UFC 326 live stream. Like I just said, I want it popping. I want all the boys in here right now, in here tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow, UFC 326 for the live stream and fight companion. Rewatch the replay of this stream when it's over with because the stream was popping. I already know it. Okay? And one more time, tune in tomorrow, motherfuckers. Yep, Koji won it. Koji won it. Law reigns. Koji won it. Oh, wait, let's see. Let's see. Not yet. Not yet. Koji didn't win it yet. Damn, Koji won it. Was he a big underdog or something? Congratulations to Koji. I'm not sure if he was a big underdog or whatever the case was. Koji Takeda 19-8. Wins a unanimous decision over Victor Kolesnik 26-5. Interesting. This is like the end of an anime. This guy's literally the main character in an anime. Law Rain says, bro, he took the fight on 40 hours notice. Damn, what a beast. Shout out to Takeda, what a beast. Looks like they gave him the unanimous decision. 29-28 on all three, which means he won the second and the third, in my opinion. Okay. I'm going to dip out, though, boys. Like I said, tune into tomorrow's stream. I will see you guys there for the live stream and Fight Companion. UFC 326. Tap in tomorrow. Okay, and if you are just joining the stream now, shit, watch the replay. It was a good stream. Shout out to everybody. All right, shout out to Sodapop. Shout out to Law Reigns. Shout out to Cupcake. Shout out to Juice Man. Shout out to UHLA. Shout out to Tyler Betts. Shout out to HT in here. Shout out to Miata Boy. Shout out to Jew. Shout out to Far Right Lunatic. Shout out to Jim Lotus. Shout out to Jacob Flores, J Flo, Tony M. Saint RG, Andrew Nance. Hey, thank you once again, Andrew Nance, for the $50 dono, homie. Much appreciated. You already know that, though. JP Money, shout out, homie. I think I said Tony M already. MMA Rio, shout out. Ruby Z, shout out. Eric Gould, shout out. 93 Octane, shout out. Him, shout out. Chainfire Mech Warrior, shout out. Legit MMA, shout out. All right. HT, shout out. If I didn't say that already. Useless, shout out. All the regulars, thanks for always coming back and watching. Will Orr, shout out. Impact, shout out. I don't know if I'm repeating at this point, but whatever. Oh, Perfecto, shout out. My man Perfecto first in the chat today. Mike Coe, shout out to the homie Mike Coe. Shout out to all the streets, all you guys in the streets, but you know I got to show you love and read out all the names. It's kind of my thing at this point. All right, boys, that's all I got for you, though. All the names I got for you. I scroll to the top. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. If you want to watch the Ryzen card, I'm streaming it in my Discord right now. I'm going to leave it in there. So, I mean, shit, you guys can catch the Ryzen card for free if you want to. I'll post it one more time in here. This ain't going to do nothing for me. It's just a solid favor for you guys. Consider it my thank you for tuning in tonight. If you want to watch Ryzen for free, 52, catch Patchy Mix's fight coming up in the main event. It's like 3 fights away from the main event. You can click the link and watch it in the Discord. I'm going to leave it playing. If not, no worries. But that'll be playing. Peace out, everybody. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow in the live stream and Fight Companion for UFC 326, Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. Let's get it.